I'm happy
At
that I got
peace.
to finish this.
Oh, you got a piece because you got to
Peace.
finish, huh? That post-nut clarity?
You did your job, Lou. Yo, testing, testicles, testing.
Testing your testicles, testing your testicles.
Yo,
Just make that a
I'm
Broadway
sample that.
musical.
I'm a
Testing your testicles, testing your testicles.
Hey, that's gonna be the new Maikon Show's jingle.
Yeah. It's like, you want to take a test? Test on what? Testing your testicles.
Is it pretty good, or do we need to move a little bit more? Is it right in the center?
Oh.
Like this? It's just like neat. Welcome back, everybody, to the Maikon Show, the greatest motherfucking show in the whole wide world.
The greatest motherfucking show.
I'm excited to bring you guys today an amazing guy, a genius when it comes to mastering, mixing, engineer, anything you want. Just call Lou for whatever you need. You know what I'm saying? The fantastic lunatic Lou.
Hey!
Thank you guys in the back. There's so much people here. It's
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
surprised we pulled this many people.
How you been, bro?
I've been good, man. Just been working, been getting all kinds of news on different projects and everything. But the coolest thing is, like, I've been able to take a lot more time for myself.
That's awesome, dude. Where did it all start?
I was born and raised in LA, technically born in Lancaster. Lived and grew up in Eagle Rock and spent my time back and forth between Eagle Rock and Highland Park because my family owns businesses in Highland Park. Growing up, I always hung out with my cousins from my Tio Pepe's side, John, Jason, and Joseph. And then in my teen years, I mainly hung out with my Tia Vicky's side in Highland Park, which they were down the street from each other. Also on my dad's side of the family, there was like Fanoncito and all these. I know these names mean nothing right now. It's like, who the fuck is Fanoncito?
Yeah.
If I wasn't in the States, I was in Mexico because I have a total of 6 sisters. 3 of them were born in Mexico. 3 of them were born here. When I was 3 weeks old, my parents passed away, and my aunt and uncle raised me here in the States because I was the only one that was born here. So I was lucky enough to get my education here and everything, while my sisters grew up in Mexico because I guess in their case, like, they weren't able to stay in the States. I was 3 weeks old. What the fuck do I know going on? But man, you know, it's not like I'm gonna go into the court case with a chupon and make the case.
Yeah,
you know?
You're not gonna win.
It created this unique situation where I also grew up spending time in Mexico a lot. My family made a big emphasis on making sure that I still kept in contact with all my family on my dad's side because they were all in Mexico. It kind of created this sense of work ethic, if that makes sense, because they're all from a small pueblo and everything. You go into church was driving down a road with rocks instead of pavement. You know what I mean? Like, you were surprised that the car could even run. Like, the engine didn't fall out. Growing up, I got some perspective, which, looking back now, I want my kids to have the same, but I don't think they'll be able to because the generation has changed.
You just gotta take them there for 5 years and don't tell them that they're American.
Right? Growing up like that, when it came time to work, now see the difference between being a by-the-hour employee versus somebody who makes their own money, makes their own living and everything. My Tio Pepe would take me to work on pools with him. It wasn't a lot, but it still was like, yo, like, if you wanted to earn some money this weekend, you had to earn this money. My Tio Pepe would actually give us money. All of them had a sense of, you need to work for what you have. So my cousin Miguel would be like, yo, like, if you want these shorts that you were looking at, I'll make you a trade. You have to wash my car 3 times and you have to clean my entire room. And I'd be like, yeah. And then at home, my mom was very conservative because of that. Like, she didn't like me going out all the time because I could get in trouble and blah, blah.
That's Latino people, bro.
Yeah. It was funny because, like, my best friend lived 4 houses down from me. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, I want to sleep over. She's like, no, what if something happens? I'm like, 4 houses down?
Yeah, you can hear it, Mom. If we're getting killed there, you can hear it.
There was so many things going on growing up. If you really wanted something, you had to work for it, essentially. Like, if you wanted to go hang out with your friends, you had to make sure XYZ was done first, make sure all your boxes were checked, and then you can go hang out. When I started working my 9 to 5s, I quickly realized how much of a waste of time it was. My first job was washing dishes, and the whole time I was washing dishes, I was also playing in a band. And so I had this little JBL speaker. This is before, like, the pill and all that. This is like when Bluetooth on a speaker, like, this, we're talking about like 2008. Like, what brand is it? Nobody cares. It just has Bluetooth. I would be listening to, like, Toxicity by System of a Down while washing dishes and everything.
fucking-
I just remember thinking the whole time, like, damn, like I'd rather be playing guitar right now than just doing this. Like, I could be booking shows, doing all this, and it'll actually generate some income.
Yeah.
And then with the band I was in, I started being more forward with like, hey, I'm gonna book his shows. Hey, I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try to do that. When it came to recording, I can't really book more shows until we have like recordings because they want to hear what our band sounds like, but we don't really have enough money to pay for a studio.
Right.
So I sold my first half stack that I had and bought like my first little interface, little Tascam US 200, I think it was called. And started recording with that. And then the obsession started where it was like, yo, like I can record this, but it sounds nothing like these studio albums. Like,
so it's like a
little
challenge
moment,
for you.
Yeah. All that childhood work ethic kind of
Yeah.
broke into this like, I'm tired of washing dishes. I want to make something of music. This is what I've been wanting to do since I was a kid. And now that I'm like working this 9 to 5 that I really don't enjoy, not because like fuck washing dishes, but like this really serves me zero purpose.
Previously to that, you said you learned as a kid to understand that to get what you want, you got to put in work.
Yeah.
Once you get that, everything changes
Yeah.
because all you want to do is work. Instead of wanting it, all you want to do is work first.
Yeah. And then
Beautiful.
that weirdly becomes the passion.
Yeah. And if
like-
you're not good at it or you can't have it, like you said, it becomes
Yeah.
a passion.
I'm not here to just take whatever work I can because I had to provide for somebody else. The cool thing is like as long as you keep your overhead low, you don't really have to worry about much, you know?
Thank you, bro.
Right.
This new generation needs to understand that.
Yeah, they keep buying everything and saying like, bro, I can't afford it. It's like, no,
Oh.
you just got to stop spending. you dumbass.
Exactly. And stop using credit cards that you
Yes.
don't have the money to pay
Yeah.
off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
It's just, it's common sense. It's simple math, but people don't seem to get it.
They don't.
They don't.
No.
And that's why the recession will
Whoop
do
your
things to
ass.
you that you don't want to be done to you.
Pause.
Yes.
It's funny because like I didn't really realize I'd go down this path until like it came time to try to book bigger shows, like trying to do more, and then seeing like, yo, I discovered another process in this creative industry that oddly made me stop playing guitar because I don't really play
Yeah.
as much anymore. Like I have all these tools and everything, I have all these guitars and amps, but like I actually don't play as much as I used to by a long shot. Like I think the last time I really sat down and played guitar was like 6 months ago.
Do you miss it?
I do, but I ended up finding Talkbox. I love playing Talkbox.
What is that?
Talkbox is pause. You put a pipe in your mouth.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Alright.
but that
Well-
pipe on the other end is connected to an amplifier,
Okay.
and that amplifier feeds a tone. Whatever tone it is whatever you play on your keyboard.
Oh,
So you connect the
okay.
keyboard to the pedal, and then that pedal will amplify whatever it is through the pipe, and then that tone gets shot into your throat. Right? Pause.
Pause.
Uh, Now, instead of actually saying the words, you actually mouth the words. Have you ever seen like Zapp and Roger, Computer Love?
I know.
No,
Computer
Computer Love. No,
No.
whatever. I just saying.
It's like, fuck.
But
Should've done a
either
research.
way,
God damn it.
Talkbox is used on like a bunch of records. Like Daft Punk uses it all the time. Better, harder, faster, stronger. That's
Yeah.
Talkbox.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you listen to people like Terrace Martin and all them who are amazing at it, so is like Battlecat and all them who actually use it in such musical ways. Instead of just sounding robotic, they use it in like jazz music. They use it in hip hop. They use it in all that.
California Love. Is
Yeah,
that the
that's-
one?
yeah, that's Talkbox.
okay. They're literally like this.
Yeah,
Like
and the way
that.
you record it is you actually mic up the mouth. You don't actually like mic up a machine or anything because it's shooting the tone into your mouth.
Pause again.
Yep.
Yeah.
But because of that, like you still have to make certain sounds, even if there's like a buzzing tone
Mhm.
going on and you're mouthing it. Like you might hear like mow, but it's not going to hear a consonant. It's not like it can do like T's, C's. So if you say like chair, you'd be like, chair. No, not even the
Oh.
air. You'd actually go.
Damn.
I'm actually the only one in my family between my siblings that doesn't have tattoos. We have like a little promise going on where she doesn't want me to get them, but I actually really want them. And I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet one day and just
Just
kind of like
go
do it.
for it.
Because I actually plan on getting a Pokemon related tattoo as my
Ooh,
first
that'd be
tattoo.
dope.
Because I love Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and all that shit. The day I get it, if I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it perfect. I'll spend a G or two. Whatever it costs is whatever it costs because expensive is only relative to the
Yeah.
buyer. Nothing is expensive if you see the value in it.
Mm-hmm.
I see the value in a well done tattoo, really high
too,
definition
bro.
and everything. When it looks almost realistic, you're like, damn, I don't know what you spent on it, but it was worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to go that route and then show it to her and be like, look, mom, but doesn't it look dope? Like, look at this.
Come on, mom.
Like,
Stop
this
playing.
is undeniable quality. Like, I desecrated myself in the highest definition possible. This shit is 96 kilohertz, 32-bit floating point, full dynamic range intact
Fuck.
tattoo.
What do you think it was a switch that you were like, oh, I'm doing this for fun because it's cool and it's a challenge. Now I want to take this further. I want to take this serious.
I actually remember the first guy. I know I don't remember his name, which sucks, but I remember what he looks like, how we met up, how everything that went on, and then the moment of realization, moment of clarity that happened between us. I tell people this all the time because they're like, I'm sorry if I forget your name. I'm like, hey, don't worry if you forget my name, because there's one thing that rings true. You might forget my name, you might forget my birthday, you might forget what food I like, but the one thing you'll never forget is how I made you feel. So if you ever see me again, your gut instinct will be positive. He was an older guy, and he actually had some cool records. He was doing like rock stuff, which I'm really into because I actually love metal just as much as I love R&B. You can find me at a Keyshia Cole concert one day and then a Sepultura concert the next day. So the guy comes in, shows me these records, and I'm like, holy fuck, these actually sound way better than anything I've done. Like, what do I do? Like, I guess you can call it in like typical dude pride.
Yeah.
The guy was like 38 to like 42, somewhere there. Like he was on that cusp of either turning 40 or just past 40.
Yeah.
It was that moment of realization where I'm like, I have to take what I do more seriously. Like I've been having fun with it, but I need to move forward and just find out what I don't know. That was the Munson curve. Those who think they know a lot tend to know the least. And those who claim to know the least tend to know a lot because they realize that they don't know a lot. That was my Munson curve moment.
I feel like that's been my North Star. Understanding that if I think I'm better or the best, I'm fucking up somehow. I need to find people that know more than me. It's like, oh, okay, mind, stop that. Yeah. Find someone better than you so it can challenge you and thus becoming better. You know what I mean? So how was working with Keyshia Cole?
Yo, it was amazing. A lot of people describe people in the industry that are hard to work with as hard to work with because they're like, oh, you know, so-and-so's a diva, so-and-so's difficult to talk to, blah, blah. There's also people who don't get fucked over easily. Keisha's not the type to let people push her around. So a lot of people have described her in the past as like difficult to work with. No, I don't think that's it. I think she's just tired of people trying to take advantage of her. She's very good at trying to call people out and being honest with them. And if she just doesn't like something, she'll just, fine, I don't got to deal with you. I just won't work with you. That's it. And I actually really respect that about her. So working with her is actually kind of like this amazing experience of being able to watch somebody who, through everything that's gone on, she seemingly continues. And I have nothing but respect for that. And that's why anytime she hits me up and she says, Lou, I need you, I'm there every time. I try to be there as much as possible because obviously I have things I have to do. But I remember I showed up late to a session because she's like, yo, Lou, like they're just giving me notice now. They want me to perform live with so-and-so. I need these live stacks and this and that. And I was literally backpack in hand leaving to a session. And I was like, you know what? Like she really needs this. I'm gonna do this now. Because it's not like I've reached out to her a lot for help, but I remember one of the standout things she did for me was I posted that my dog got into an accident and, you know, we're raising money for this surgery that it needed because we couldn't afford it. She actually paid for more than half of the surgery just out of helping. She saw the message. I told her like, hey, you know, I'm doing discounted rates right now just because I'm trying to raise money for this. I went to her house. She's like, here, I'm gonna give you a check for X amount. You just have to agree to do this for me. I'm like, okay, cool. And I agreed to show up the days that we did. And it was just like helping her out, hanging pictures and all that. She's like, I just wanted to make sure you're good. Like if you're good, I'm good. It ties back to like a conversation that we had when we first started working together. She hired me. I came to the session. I'm not gonna lie. The session was in her house and she was still like an hour behind. I take it as like, look, I'm in her house. I'm in the session, in the studio area and everything with like C24, barefoot speakers, blah, 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 everything going on. I'm like, okay, I can hear that downstairs she's like doing like her vocal exercises and everything. In that time, I decided to pick up the broom and start sweeping the studio, start cleaning. I did everything an intern would do, essentially. I wiped down the countertops. I looked for the Clorox wipes. I made sure everything was there. I saw that her knickknacks, like some of them were tumbled over. I saw that there was like ash by the desk from like the dude she was with at the time. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take care of all of it. She came up and she's like, oh, I have a cleaning lady. I'm like, I know, but you're paying for me to be here. So I might as well do something. So I organized your files. I took care of all the cleaning. I made sure the booth is good. I made sure the mic was nice and ready. And I took care of everything. And she like kind of was surprised by that. I could tell by like her reaction. She's like, okay. Like, I don't know if that's something a lot of engineers do, but I feel like that's something that you need to do. Yeah. Like you have to be of service. There's so much in our industry that is financially driven. There's people out here who look at doing music as like, I'm going to be the best engineer. I'm going to be the best producer. I'm going to be the best artist. And it's very self-fulfilling, right? For in that sense. And then there's many others who kind of had their fun and did what they wanted to do. And now at that point, they kind of gone down the path that I want. I got my plaque. I worked out of every major studio in LA. I've worked with every artist I wanted to work with, except for one. If Anthony Hamilton ever books me for a session, I'll do it for free. If he hires me to mix or master a song, it could be the worst song he's ever put out. I'll do it for free. Anthony Hamilton, dude, I got him. But overall, I don't care for it anymore. Yeah. I don't care to be the guy in every session. I don't care to be the guy that's working with every artist anymore. I care to build the next generation. That's what I personally want. I really don't need much money for myself. I don't plan on driving a fancy car. I don't plan on having 10 jacuzzis, and I don't care about bitches. Yeah. I just really give a shit about being of service at this point. You know, touching on the whole burnout thing, I think burnout's really important when it comes to realizing how far you've come and how far you've fallen. It's kind of a double-edged sword on burnout. It's actually a positive and a negative. When you burn out, you lose a passion for something, or you just so tired you can't focus anymore. Like, it's become overwhelming and you've kind of lost direction. I've gone through it myself and I've watched other people go through it, and two things always happen. There's a depression state, and in that depression state, you've kind of realized that you feel like you've lost the passion for something, or you feel like you can't move, you feel stagnant, whatever the situation that might have caused the burnout. The most common one I see is stagnation, or at least perceived stagnation, meaning that once they come out of the burnout, they realize that now that they've been able to take a step back, now that they've been able to breathe and calibrate, they now realize how far they've come. Like, yo, I used to not understand XYZ. Now I really understand it. Now I need to just focus on this, and I feel like I'll do better. But it came at the cost of burnout because you weren't actively trying to figure out how to avoid burnout.
There are some songs that I made right after 2020, right? And they feel like it's the new music. But I'm like, no, this is a year ago, 2 years ago. And they're like, wow, that's so crazy. I can't believe how better you've gotten. And then I look back and I'm like, I never noticed how good they were because I was just making them. I was just, you know.
It was just noise in the mix of everything.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And like you said, it's like when in doubt, zoom out. You're like, dang. For anybody going through burnout, I've learned that it's just like in a relationship. Take time off. You will see the amount of like, you just want to get back. Even, I'm so glad that I'm in love with my girl. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm in love with my girl. I found the one. When she's getting too much, I'm like, hey, I'm going to take a day off from you. I love you so much, but I need this day for me. And I do my things. Then I talk to music or whatever I'm doing or this. And I'm like, you're being too much. I'm going to be with my girl. Yeah. And then, you know what I mean? Yeah. That it's like, that's that balance. And that's what I've figured out. Don't get too high in the highs and then get too low in the lows. One thing that I've been analyzing lately, it's everything you've done, right? Yeah. To get to this place. You did a lot of nights that were very late, draining. Right? Yeah, exactly. But, you know, when you get to a certain type of success, what do they all say? But like, you don't have to do those things. Take your time, find peace and those things, right? Yeah. But I'm thinking those people can relate to the people who are already successful, right? But if they would have told themselves the exact same thing, they're like, nah, you would not have listened to it. Yeah. Because you need to go to those feelings. Because if you did exactly what you tell them to do, right? Like be calm, find peace and everything. When you get to an older age, you're going to be like, damn, I should have done all those crazy things. So you'll never satisfy.
Everybody says you don't need to touch the fire to know that it's hot. I'm like, nah, I'd rather touch it.
Yeah, I'd rather just
like, let me know how hot I can get before I get burned.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'd like to know what the edge is. But,
it might be a toxic thing, but we're Latinos. Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking chilada time.
Yeah. Bro, it's been a fucking great time.
Thank you for having me. Testing testicles. That's the test we're going to give you if you ever want to be tested by us. It's like, yo, I really want to be tested. All right, show me your testicles.
Hey, pull them down. Let's get it.
How long do they hang?
Oh, shit.
Which one droops more?
Not long enough.
Not long enough.
I'm happy that I got to finish this.
Oh, you got a piece because you got to finish, huh? That post-night clarity?
You did your job, Lou. Thank you, bro, for being here.
And shout out to DK with, well, happy mixing, my friends.
Hey!
And stay saucy.
Stay saucy. Thank you so much for coming back to the Maikon Show, the greatest show in the whole world.
Oh, wow.
We lit. We good. We having a good time. I'm hungry as shit. You hungry?
I'm hungry.
Yeah, we're all hungry here. Talal is dying over there.
DK's KO'd.
Thank you so much. I'm out. We out.
We out.
Peace out.
Fish tacos.
Hey!